What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I would say I hope you all are having a good day, but obviously looking at the market, we are completely in the shitter. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today and kind of go over some of the things that I'm looking at as far as where we may be headed. I do think that there's a potential for us to have some sort of a bounce here, like I said a couple days ago. Yesterday was a green day. Today, obviously, much more in the red. But looking at the market right now, Bitcoin's down 7% today, which means that the rest of the market is tanked way worse. XRP down 24%. Solana down 31%. Polkadot down 24%. I mean, run the gambit here. The whole market is pretty much red. So let's look kind of as far as where we're at here. I will say I think that that 90-day time frame, when I pulled up the previous charts as far as these moving averages that I showed you guys on the BLX, where I talked about 90 days until full capitulation, that's looking like that 90. I mean, time frames are kind of irrelevant, right? Just looking at historically what we've done, and this isn't nailed down 100%, but look at the 21 EMA, look at the 50 EMA on the monthly chart, right? And this is a little bit different, but we can see previously, within Bitcoin, if we break down below the 21 EMA on the monthly, we go and mess around with this 50 EMA on the monthly. We did it back in 2018. We can see, this isn't going to populate all the way back, but 2015 and late 2014 into early 2015. God, I can't talk. We were certainly down here around these levels. We're obviously headed to that point right now, so I do think that we've got a little bit lower to go as far as the monthly chart for Bitcoin. If it happens this month, regardless, I think that once we broke below the 21, this yellow line here, we're going to the 50, and where the 50 is at right now, you're sitting at $26,200, whatever. It's a really insignificant number. We can see prior markets, we've obviously moved down below or wicked down below this 50. I would expect us to probably do something similar again. This 21 to 23K range is really interesting to me. Don't know if we get there this month, but it's certainly something that I'm watching, and that's just Bitcoin. You can look at the crypto total market cap, and there's a lot of synergy within this as well, and just literally pull up a monthly time frame. Go to tradingview.com. All you have to do is pop in the 21 EMA and the 50 EMA, and you can look at what happened the previous cycle. That's not to dictate exactly what's going to happen this cycle, but you can see that we touched the 50. Once we broke below the 21 EMA on the monthly with the total market cap of crypto, we 100% touched base on the 50. We had a little rally, and then that March of 2020 capitulation moment again, where we wicked down below. I mean, these things are pretty. Once you start getting to these levels, I mean, it's pretty clear, cut and dry, at least in my opinion, where I think we're going to go. It's not written in stone. Certainly, everything that people look at from a charting standpoint, and I've never alluded to me being this big TA guru, which I'm certainly not. But zooming out and looking at bigger time frames makes it a lot easier to potentially gauge where we might go. Again, not set in stone, because sometimes things happen and just, there's a shift that maybe we don't repeat what we've done in the past here. And then total market cap, excluding Bitcoin, same thing. The 21 and the 50, I mean, we went down and touched on the 50, wicked below it a couple of times as well during those capitulation moments. I would not be surprised at all to see something very similar happen. So it might not be the news that everybody wanted, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. Do I think that the pain is over? No. Could I be wrong? 100% yes, I could be wrong. But just based on looking at these larger time frames, I think that we've got a little bit more downside to go. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a little bit of a rally with a rejection and then capitulation in like a month or two. But this has happened so fast. I think a lot faster than a lot of people were anticipating, even from the monthly standpoint. If I pull up the weekly on Bitcoin, you can still we've got a little bit of room to go down still. Not a lot. It's only like if we were to go back down to the 210 MA on the weekly, it's only like 20% down. Which even looking at this like a week or two ago, it seemed like it was way further away, right? But I'm trying to look at simple things. and seeing where we're going to find, that support level that we've all been looking for. Terra Luna obviously down 94% today. When I woke up this morning, it was at like 70 cents, which is absolutely nuts. If you look at the price where it was at, even, a month ago, it was $116 and it went down to 70 cents. I wanted to say, I know a lot of people in the XRP community were like, oh, the Terra Luna people were shitting on the XRP community whenever the lawsuit happened, et cetera, et cetera. Like, who cares? I feel for the XRP community 1,000% whenever that lawsuit hit, but I feel for the Terra Luna people too. This is just another thing that should elude us all to believe that we need to diversify to an extent within this space. There's going to be multiple winners, and then you don't want to be stuck in one of these assets. If one of your assets, goes down 95%, it's horrible. And I think that we even see a lot of angry individuals in the XRP community, even in the Hedera, HBAR community, but XRP certainly, where maybe that's the only asset that they've chosen to hold for a few years. And, the one thing that I always like to talk about is diversification, because I really do believe that there's going to be tons of winners in this space. It's just a shame. It's a shame to see these prices crash, and I'm sure that a lot of people got affected in terrible ways. So certainly not going to laugh at individuals that may have lost all the money that they had in the world. So, I feel for them. One thing I would say is, this space isn't going anywhere. There's going to be definitely ways to make your money back in this space, if you just stick with it for the long term. This all started with this Terra USD, so UST, and, the depegging, it went all the way down to 30 cents, I think, last night. It's 70 cents right now. It's supposed to be $1 based on this algorithm, et cetera, et cetera. Charles Hoskinson from Cardano putting out, this... I don't know. This is being disputed now, but this is what Charles had posted. So here's the word on the street with Luna. BlackRock and Citadel borrowed 100K Bitcoin from Gemini. It appears in their loan book. They swapped 25,000 of that Bitcoin into Terra USD. This was all done quietly in anticipation of the attack. When the time was right, they called up Do Kwon at Terra Foundation and said they wanted to sell a lot of Bitcoin for Terra US dollar. As it was a large trade, they told him they didn't want to move the market and asked if he would like to buy their large block of Bitcoin at a discount for UST. Do Kwon took the bait. He gave them a huge chunk of UST, thus lowering the UST liquidity significantly. At that point, BlackRock and Citadel dumped all of the Bitcoin and the UST, causing massive slippage and triggering a cascade of forced selling in both assets. The real problem was BlackRock/Citadel knew that Anchor, which holds a lot of Luna, was a Ponzi, and this crash would trigger more withdrawals than Anchor can repay. These forced withdrawals and selling would trigger a mass sell-off in Luna, thus further breaking the $1 peg and wrecking the market further. BlackRock and Citadel can now buy the Bitcoin back cheaply to repay their loan and pocket the difference. Meanwhile, billions of longs in Bitcoin were wiped out. This was pure market manipulation. We can see Gemini responding. We are aware of a recent story that suggests that Gemini made a 100K Bitcoin loan to large institutional counterparties that reportedly resulted in a sell-off of Luna, etc., etc. The one thing that I will say today, you're starting to see narratives of crypto being dead. I saw it in here earlier today. Maybe I won't be able to find it. It says, crypto's dead, et cetera, through Forbes and whoever else, which means that I think that we're getting closer to a bottom. But interestingly enough, so this is crazy, and I forget the dude that shared this on Twitter with me. So, and if you're watching this, apologize. I accidentally deleted that tab. But thank you for sharing this. Financial stability report coming out from the Fed, and wouldn't you know it? They talk about stablecoin risks, vulnerable to runs, and the sector continues to grow rapidly. Isn't that timing just super interesting, right? Stablecoins typically aim to be convertible at par to dollars, but they are backed by assets that may lose value or become illiquid during stress. Hence, they face redemption risks similar to those of prime and tax-exempt MMFs. Was that money mutual funds? Or money, whatever that is. Hold on, what is MMF? Yeah, money market fund. These vulnerabilities may be exacerbated by a lack of transparency regarding the riskiness and liquidity of assets backing stablecoins. Additionally, The increasing use of stablecoins to meet margin requirements for leverage trading and other cryptos may amplify volatility in demand for stablecoins and heighten redemption risks. Just very interesting that the Fed puts out a document that talks about runs on these stablecoins literally right when it happens. Probably nothing to see here, right? So moving forward, Coinbase. Now this is another thing, about custodying your own assets. Coinbase putting out I think this was its quarterly, first quarter earnings report. But talking about, in the event of bankruptcy within Coinbase, and Coinbase stock tanked today, in the event of bankruptcy, an individual's ownership of cryptocurrency is supposed to be immutable and absolute, but that is not the case through Coinbase. Essentially, this disclosure saying that during a bankruptcy event within Coinbase, individuals would not have access to their funds. Let me see if I can find this here. I found the whole thing. Yeah, its users might lose all the cryptocurrency stored in their accounts too. All right, yeah, Coinbase users. All right, yet the exchange noted that in the event it ever declared bankruptcy, the crypto assets that are held in custody at Coinbase on behalf of our customers could be subject to bankruptcy proceedings. Coinbase users will become general unsecured creditors, meaning they have no right to claim any specific property from the exchange during the bankruptcy proceedings. Their funds would become inaccessible. Scary fact being that Coinbase literally holds $256 billion in fiat and crypto combined. Right now, that number, if we were just to put that in crypto stance, that is 10% of what the all-time high was, basically, of the entire crypto market. And right now, it's way lower. What is the total crypto market cap right now? 1.229 trillion. So that's really scary. That's like over a quarter, right? So, all right, moving forward here, looking at Songbird. Songbird down 21%. I mean, some of these assets like Energy Web being under $100 million is really interesting to me. Hedera Hashgraph, being under $2 billion. Quant being under $1 billion is a joke. I'm looking to be picking up some more Quant. I'm certainly going to be looking at picking up Hedera Hashgraph moving forward. Energy Web, Songbird, still looking for my big entry into Songbird. Regardless of the airdrop, I wanted to make another purchase. Again, none of this is financial advice. You can run the gambit. There's tons of assets out there that are undervalued right now. All that I'm looking at are some of these high-level type things that tell me, this is probably the time to buy. It seems like, and I'm not going to knock anybody for making those decisions right now. Like, I actually, and I think that this is probably going to be a bad move, but I saw Terra down like 95%, and I realize that the project may be wrecked. But when I see something down that's 95%, like I bought a tiny bit of Terra Luna today. But I only bought it. I literally only bought what I'm 100% willing to see go to nothing in value. But that's not to say that there's not a lot of things that are undervalued right now. But I'm just looking for a couple of different triggers. Not even just these. I've showed you guys multitudes of them, in the past. And once a couple of these things get hit for me, and we're real damn close at this point in time. It will kind of be that moment for me to make my move and then hopefully be able to sit on these assets for a couple of years and not watch the prices and just do research and talk to you guys about some of the stuff that I'm finding. And there's going to be tons of opportunities, guys. And I feel for anybody that's gotten affected during these crashes. I would certainly preach diversification in this space. Oh, another thing. Watching Tether right now is really interesting too. I think that, in my opinion, Tether is probably a ticking time bomb. But if you see what happened to Luna when UST depegged, watch what happens to Bitcoin if USDT ever depegs, completely. So, or if the funds aren't there to back it, or peg it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, a little bit of a different video today, but there's certainly still hope. The narrative is not as strong as the innovation and the swallowing of all other markets by this asset class. I still fervently believe that nothing has changed fundamentally whatsoever within digital assets and cryptocurrency. This is the market cycle playing out. And we were oversaturated for a while with a lot of nonsensical things in this space, and this is kind of the flushing out of that nonsensical value And then you see the real builders out there, and you see the real value projects that continue to build and that will survive through these bearish markets. And it's going to be exciting to watch play out. I hope you guys are all prepared for it. What is this? What is it? Kylo Ren and the SNL thing was like, after the rain comes the rainbow. It's just going to take a little bit of time for this rainbow to occur, I think. But we're close, guys. Couple things here for you to watch like I presented. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you when I talk to you later.